Jason Brown, and I'm joined in studio today by naturopathic doctor Corey Morgan, who is here to share with us his advice on the best way to deal with the coronavirus pandemic. Doc, we've seen governments around the world take a very strong approach to reducing the spread of the COVID-19 virus. There is in almost every nation a ban on public gathering, so churches are no longer allowed to function the way they used to. There is lockdown of towns and cities in some cases. Give us your advice on how we should fight in the coronavirus pandemic.
Well, Jason, when we examine what's going on, you're right, most governments or all governments around the world have put in are taking strenuous effort to control the spread of the coronavirus. What I'm taking back with is the fact that not much effort over the years has been made to combat the alcoholism problem that we have, where over 3 million people die from alcohol or the use of alcohol each year. Another 8 million die from the use of tobacco, that's tobacco smoke. We have roughly 41 million people who die from lifestyle diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, cancer, heart-related issues. And also we have about 650,000 people each year on an average that die from the flu. And yet we don't see that great effort put up by government or around the world to combat these things. Now we know social distancing won't combat diabetes, high blood pressure, but what about educating people on healthy lifestyle and other measures that would reduce the death from diabetes, high blood pressure? It's like we've gone to the point where we just accept them as normal. And so that is one of my concerns. And as you mentioned, yes, social distancing is something that is recommended to combat the coronavirus, and quarantine not. On the issue of quarantine, when we look at the Bible, way back in the time of Moses coming around, sure there were contagious diseases, for example, leprosy was one of those. Now, there's no point at which Israel was instructed by God. And remember, God always has the best plan. Right? And there's no way everybody was supposed to be quarantined. Right? The nation did not go under quarantine. And if there's anything we need to do is go back to the scriptures and see how God instructed mankind to deal with things like contagious diseases. Who was quarantined were the people who came down with the leprosy or whatever is contagious. Right? Today, we don't use that approach. We just quarantine everyone, which we'll talk about more than an entire nation, an entire world we want to quarantine. We're going to also look how this quarantine can help, right, those who are infected, but also it's devastating to those who do not have the virus. Right? And so we're going to look at some of that, as we go on.
So there's a balance that
yes, there needs to be a balance.
There needs to be that balance.
And we are not seeing that balance. Right. Not only that, but most of the people who are making the decisions about these are politicians. They did not study medicine. No, we should have an approach where the medical fraternity, right, and the politicians come together, right, to make these decisions. But you have certain politicians, they sit in their offices, right, on their throne, so to speak, and they make decisions that are contrary to what is good medically or what is in the people's best interest, because they do not have a background in these things. Now, Moses didn't go to medical school, but God instructed Moses that what to do.
He's the right physician.
Yeah, exactly. He's a great physician, God.
So, on the matter of the immune system, are there ways of, say, strengthening the immune system so that we're able to fight the coronavirus infection if you should get it?
Oh, well, I'm glad you mentioned the immune system, because let's explore what the purpose of the immune system is and how it works. Everybody, as our God designed the human beings, that we should have something to protect us. And the immune system is one of the things that has to protect us. And so we would liken them to the soldiers and police of the body. And so the same way the soldier and police is supposed to protect the community from the gunmen, the bad guys. So likewise, the immune system is primarily comprised of our white blood cells, are there to kill viruses, bacteria, funguses, and other pathogens, even cancer cells. Right? That's their purpose. So these are the one that we're supposed to strengthen in our body so that they can find the coronavirus or any other virus or anything that is affecting our body. They can find it and kill it. And that's what one white blood cell can kill about 14 bacteria in its for its lifetime. And so that's why God put them in our body. Now, we are not saying the immune system is the only thing that we should use or we should encourage to fight the viruses. Sure, they're in the community out there, they have antivirals, they have antibiotics and stuff like that. Right? Now we know that antibiotics do not kill viruses. That's a fact. Right. But there are so many antivirals out there that people are. Then we have the natural ones, right? Whether you can find it in the garlic, the lemon, and some of the things we'll mention later on. So in addition to the immune system, so we have what we call drugs, natural remedies, juices and different things. However, there's nothing to replace something we call healthy lifestyle.
Okay. Now, you mentioned that you have a very unique approach to dealing with disease. The laws of health you had told me about before. Could you just share with our viewers about the laws of health and how that these laws can help individuals in their fight against the COVID-19 infection?
It's interesting that you say that because the Bible tells us that God is the one who created us, and we were created fearfully and wonderfully in that manner. And God wishes above all things that we may prosper and be in health. Some people even add good to it, and we know that's what it means. But it's on the condition that of Exodus 15:26, which says, if we diligently hearken unto Him, the Lord, right, He will put none of these diseases upon us. Right? Now, that diligently hearken unto us means that we need to pretty much follow the principles that the Lord gives us. Just like if you buy a BMW or any car, you don't put any oil in there. You don't put decide and say, well, okay, I'm going to put grade so-and-so oil. It gives you a manual. Well, the Bible is that manual that instructs us how we are to take care of our bodies. Right? And so there are what we call principles of health. And one of them is love and trust. Now, why we start with love and trust? Because God is the one who makes us, and He said, listen, if we diligently hearken unto Him and do that which is right. And not only if we diligently hearken unto Him, sometimes we don't. No, God just throw us up and leave us. No. In 2 Chronicles 7:14, He said, if my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face, and turn from their wicked ways. Now, this is what it means, turn from our wicked ways. Meaning, identify that which is causing the immune system to break down, which is causing the body to break down, and turn from. So if a person is not diabetic, then sure enough, we know that the white bread, white rice, white flour is harmful for them. In the case of the coronavirus, yes, sure, right? We wouldn't put that which in the body that can break down the immune system further. So that's what the Lord is talking about. Then He said, then will I hear from heaven, and will forgive your sin, and will heal your land. Because to practice these harmful lifestyle practices is definitely sinful, right? Because we are harming our body. So we should lovingly trust God, which is the first principle, because He's the one who made us in the first place. So you trust the BMW manufacturer more than your mechanic. Right? Because if your car don't break down, does the mechanic make any money from you? No. A little oil change and a little brake job doesn't really put much money in his pocket. So it's likewise with the doctor. And I'm going to be upfront. We the doctors only can make money from you reasonably when you get sick. Right? So therefore, one of the things you've seen in medicine over the years, no much emphasis is placed on lifestyle, right? Healthy lifestyle. So therefore, you eat and drink. The public eat and drink what they want, and they get sick, and then they come to us, the doctor. And what do? We give them a pill. We don't concentrate on building that lifestyle. Say, go and follow that manual, the Bible, that God made. Look at the 7 days of quarantine, the 14 days of quarantine. Where do you think we get that from? From the Bible. Right? So the Bible is the key book. Right? Now, so who should we trust? The one who made the body, rather than you trust us, the doctors, who primarily make money when you get sick. Because when you get sick, it is God's responsibility to heal you as you turn to Him. And therefore, in the first place, He doesn't want us to get sick. And why? Because He has given us Christians a mission. He said, go into all the world. So if we are sick, we can't go into all the world. And so therefore, it is our best interest to trust God. So in that manual, He tells us in Genesis 1:29, right, what food we are to eat. And He says, He has given us fruits, grains, nuts. And in Genesis 3, when man sinned, He added vegetables. And we know that vegetables are helpful in helping us to overcome sicknesses. The broccoli, the callaloo, the spinach, the carrot, and all of these, kale, and all of these good vegetables, especially the green ones. Right? Now, in addition to giving us the vegetables, He gave us in the first place the fruits and so on. So what we realize over here is that a vegetarian diet or plant-based diet is much more helpful in preventing disease in the first place and also in reversing disease. So when we go to this, when you guys come to us, the doctor, and all we do is give you a pill, which is in the form of a drug, or a supplement, we are not helping. Number one, the pill has 1,000,001 side effects. Right? The supplement might not have side effects, but then we are still doing the evil thing. It's like mopping up the water without turning off the light. We could mop until next year comes. Water will be on the floor. What we need to do is find where the pipe is leaking, that means what is wrong in the lifestyle that is causing the breakdown of the immune system. Change that. And as we're talking about that would include all animal products removed. Right? And go on a plant-based diet, right? Or refined food, remove them. These refined foods are dangerous for us. Right? They break down the immune system too. They cause the blood sugar to just skyrocket. They cause the pressure to go up. They give us constipation, all sorts of problems. And so we as doctors need to be more responsible, that when you come to us, we will know that, well, listen, you need to make this change and that change in your life. Right? Then we can give you whatever medication, so to speak, whether it is, whatever the doctor feels fit to remedy the situation. But if we are not going to recommend lifestyle changes, then we are fighting a losing battle. Right. So in addition to trusting God, loving, trusting God, I believe that we have fresh air. If there's anything we mankind need, right, is fresh air. All right. Fresh air is extremely important because the body runs off oxygen. Right? And so that is one of the reasons we fighting the COVID virus need to be on the outside, on the outdoor, getting that fresh oxygen and not being locked up in the house, because we know in the house what we have positively charged air, right, which is not good for the lungs, which is not good for our circulation in general. You notice when it rains and you breathe in that air, it feels much better than before it rains. When you go into the country area, into the mountain area, what happens? You feel your brain is like it's expanding. Your thoughts just float. That is how fresh air is important. When you come back in these cities, whether New York, Miami, Chicago, Kingston, London, you just feel your brain just like it's going down. Right? You cannot think as well as when you. So fresh air is extremely important. The next one is water. Our body is 70% water. The Earth's surface is also 70% water. Most of us don't drink much water. We drink pop. We drink commercially made juice. We don't even make our juice ourselves. We mostly drink the one that we just buy in the store, because some of us are lazy and some of us just consider we don't have the time. But water, not even freshly made juice can replace water. Water, we should just drink water. And how much water should we drink? For every 16 pounds body weight, we should drink 8 ounces of water. So if a person weighs 160 pounds, they should drink 10 glasses of water. And if they are working in the sun, in the outdoor weight hut, they should drink another 3 or 4, because they are sweating much more. So that perspiration is causing their body to lose more water, and they need to keep well hydrated. Now, if they're on the AC, which is not the best, but sometimes we have to use AC, then sure enough, they can drink that 10 glasses. We also have something called rest or sleep. That is the one some of us don't like, because we get into bed not 10, 11, 12, 1 o'clock, because we're up doing work or watching something or on Facebook, that is bad for us to be going to bed that late. We need 3 hours each night before 3 hours before midnight, right? And so that's where the pineal gland in the brain will produce the serotonin, which gives us good memory, which helps to offset stress, because stress breaks down the immune system. And so therefore, we need at least 3 hours. So we need to get into bed by 9 and we wake up 4 or 5 o'clock and we are ready for the day. And as Christians, sure, that's where we get into the Word and on our knees and start our day with the Lord. So rest is extremely important. When we don't get proper rest, especially those 3 hours before midnight, it breaks down our immune system. So we become more susceptible to picking up a cold, to picking up flu, and so more susceptible to picking up the coronavirus. And also, if we have the coronavirus, unfortunately, if we do, then we are more likely to succumb to it. There's another one. The other principle is always temperance. Right? Now, temperance means abstaining from that which is harmful and moderately using that which is good. So that means we should stay away from alcohol, tobacco, overeating, illegal or illicit drugs and so on. And even some of the medication that some of us take, we should read up about them and talk to our doctor. Is it good for us to really take this medication? Because they have side effects. Right? But also we have to be temperate. Right? In temperance, in the old walks of temperance, we mean, for example, with the COVID situation, social distances is important, as the government will tell you. Right? But some of us can take it to another extreme where we are not temperate with it. Right? We treat people like they do in olden days, in Bible days, with we scorn them, like the leper. Exactly. We need to rally to help these people. And at the same time, sure, protect ourselves. Because the Bible tells us that we should love others as we love ourselves. So first, protection has to be taken, whether you put on gloves or whatever. Sure, to protect yourself from someone who has it. But we shouldn't distance ourselves from them so much that we can't help them. Our family members, right, we distance ourselves. So when we're in the house, you have to walk over there and I walk all the way over here. No. That's taking it.
And if they get sick, we scorn them and
no.
That is never the case. In fact, it's interesting that we read this article about the Spanish flu and how the Adventists responded to it. How we responded to it was not by scorning individuals, but taking them in and using proper hygiene methods, cleanliness, sanitation, and hydrotherapy.
We're going to talk about that too.
Right, just to help them to recover.
Exactly.
Right, and they did, keeping quarantine measures. The Spanish was a deadly.
Oh yes, that was from 1918 to 1920, which was responsible for quite a few million deaths.
We have to look at it from the perspective that we could get that infection.
Exactly.
Right, and we would want someone to help us.
Definitely.
So if you are going to help someone, let's say your father or your mother will get sick, then what you need to do, you need to be maybe wearing gloves, or you need to use sanitation fluid, right? To sanitize the air properly.
Definitely. Alright. And so temperance involves not going to the extreme in avoiding people so that we are more earthly. It's just like the salt. We should be the salt of the earth. If the salt remains all over there on the table, it's of no earthly good. Right? So as the salt of the earth, we need definitely to, on one hand, protect ourselves, but be of earthly good to others so that we can improve their lives. Sunlight is the next one that we want to look at. Right? Sunlight is one that is extremely important for us. And with sunlight, we can get that vitamin D. It also speeds circulation. And we're going to talk about how important that is in fighting the coronavirus or any virus. And it boosts the immune system also. It helps us stave off depression, and we know depression as a way of weakening the immune system. So sunlight is extremely good. Exercise is the next one. Right? Most of us don't exercise. It stimulates circulation, it strengthens the bone, it helps us to throw off toxins, it builds the immune system, and it's not once in a while exercise, it's daily exercise. And exercise should not be primarily to lose weight. Exercise should be to keep the immune system going, to strengthen it. Right? Cleanliness is another one we want to look at. Many people do not practice proper cleanliness or proper hygiene. And so our place needs to be spick and span. We're not talking about it as to be a mansion. Even if it's dirt floor, so to speak, even if it's wood floor or whatever it may be, it's supposed to be free of dirt in the sense of garbage or litters or something of that nature. Well kept, everything organized. And as far as hygiene, one of the main things we can do to help keep the coronavirus away is wash our hands regularly. We go outside, come in, go straight to the bathroom, and wash one's hand with soap and water. Sanitizer has its place, right? But sanitizer cannot replace soap and water. Soap and water can replace sanitizer. No doubt about that. And I'll tell you honestly, I don't use sanitizers in this whole thing, but I keep washing my hands ever so often, especially if I go out and come back in, right? Because I'm touching doorknobs and other things. And so hygiene, bathing is one of the most important things. Take at least a daily bath, and it's sometimes 2-3 baths for the day, and that will improve our personal hygiene. So when we look at this, we are not saying that healthy lifestyle is it alone, but healthy lifestyle, these principles we are looking at, is like the foundation in building a house. When you're building a house, you want to put a solid foundation. Then now you come up with the hydrotherapy, the natural remedies, whatever you might want to use. But there's no substitute for laying a good foundation.
Dr. Morgan, you have a particular acronym that you use to remember all these laws of health. Please share that with our viewers.
Oh, sure. That acronym just tells us how important these things are. It's called LIFE-8, LIFE', and then the next word is AID. Right. Now, and so what it is really telling us, these principles we just discussed, they help us to have good health.
All right. So let's review that.
Okay. So the L is for love and trust. Right. The I is for ideal diet. The F is for fresh air. The E is for essential water. The S is for sufficient rest. The next A is for always temperate. The I is for invaluable sunlight, and the D for daily exercise. If we practice these 8 principles along with cleanliness and good hygiene, our immune system, as the Lord said in Exodus 15:26, none of these diseases will come upon us. Sure, there might be a few cases where we have a Job or Paul with a thorn in the flesh, but in most cases we'll be able to reduce high blood pressure, diabetes, cancer, and even the coronavirus. We will keep it at bay, and for those of us who come down with it, we will be more likely to recover from it.
Okay, friends, there you have it. We have come to the end of our program tackling the coronavirus pandemic. Be sure to watch part 2 of our 2-part program, and don't forget to subscribe so that you can receive notifications on our latest YouTube content. Goodbye, and thanks for viewing.